Chelsea 2, Liverpool 1. Another disappointing, embarrassing and humiliating performance by Arne Slot's men. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. Today's video is going to be the not-so-instant match reaction to Liverpool's defeat at Stamford Bridge last night at the hands of Chelsea Football Club. Yet again, for the second time in 2 games, consecutive games, Liverpool fall to an injury time winner by the opposition. Estevao with the winner on this occasion, making it 2 losses on the bounce in the Premier League and 3 losses consecutively in all competitions over the course of 1 week. It has been the week from hell from a Liverpool fan perspective, and we're going to get into it straight away. We're going to be looking into the problems at Liverpool, the issues, why has Liverpool's season just nosedived in the past week or so. But before we go into all of that, I would like to remind you, please like the video and also subscribe if you are new. Both things will always have for be greatly appreciated. And of course, get involved in the conversation yourselves. Let me know what you guys are thinking and feeling, your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, in regards to this topic at hand. I'm sure we'll make it for great and interesting reading, so please do use and abuse that comment section down below. Otherwise, let's get on with the video, let's get on with the conversation, let's talk Liverpool, the defeat yesterday to Chelsea, and everything else in between. Look, first and foremost, let me just say, Chelsea deserved it. Chelsea were the better side for most of the game. Hung in there really, really well. Managed to combat their issues, their defensive issues of, you know, their players dropping like flies and, you know, the injuries that they suffered with and the red cards that they suffered with and all of that kind of stuff. They performed really, really well. Liverpool on the day, in certain parts, I thought we were okay, but it still just wasn't good enough. It still just wasn't good enough. And even though certain parts were like a 5 or 10 minute spell here and there kind of thing, it overall just wasn't good enough, and there were just still individual errors, individual mistakes that were taking place. But above all, for the 3rd game in a row, the main bulk of why we failed was down to, in my opinion, the head coach, the manager, Arne Slot. Look, the players have to take some responsibility. I'm not saying the players are completely blameless. Their decision making in the final third at times was poor. Choosing to pass rather than shoot rather than pass, or not cross, or wait for the cross, or whatever it may be. There were some moments like that yesterday. The key one that brings to my mind is Milos Kerkez going through on goal, and instead of just absolutely putting his foot through it, he decides to try and play it across goal. He doesn't quite get the execution right on playing it across goal. It gets cut out and cleared, and it's a very, very good opportunity that goes a-begging from a Liverpool perspective. And it was just certain things like that at times, like I say, getting in the on the edge of the area in the second half, and then the execution of the final ball, or the shot not happening, or it just all flopped and failed at key moments. To put it this way, Robert Sanchez, who I think is one of the worst goalkeepers in the Premier League, only had 1 save to make in that entire game, and it was the most simplest of stops from Ryan Gravenberch, if memory serves me correctly. That is just horrifically wrong. Like, it's Robert Sanchez. He's one of the worst goalkeepers, like I say, in the Premier League. As long as you get it on target, and as long as you put enough power behind it, the chances are is that Calamity Sanchez is either going to put the ball in his own net, he's going to drop it to potentially a Liverpool player to run onto for the easiest of tap-ins, or he may just give you a corner out of it. Either way, it's Calamity Sanchez. Like, how are you not testing that goalkeeper? And then to make matters worse, like I say, Chelsea had a number of defensive issues. Those defensive issues, by the way, got worse as the game went on, because their starting 2 centre-backs went off injured. Now, I'm not condoning, obviously, injuries. I'm not happy or celebrating injuries. But if you have that opportunity, you go for the kill. You smell blood and you go for the kill, right? We didn't do that. We didn't test that defence at all. We didn't test that defence. We didn't put them under any pressure, under the cosh, and that is partially on the players, who, like I say, had a couple of good opportunities, especially in the second half, to actually get a second goal and didn't. Mo Salah especially, with a couple of good breakaways, but then the shot at the end was just awful. Not testing Robert Sanchez, not testing the defence. It was awful on the players' account, but I think the be-all and end-all, or the majority of what went wrong yesterday, and what went wrong at Galatasaray, and what went wrong against Crystal Palace last week, is the manager. The manager, Arne Slot. I give him a lot of praise last season, and even at the beginning of this season, for getting it right. You know, maybe he didn't get it completely right all the time. Maybe to start a game off, he would get it wrong, but he would fix it as the game wore on. Past 3 games, though, consecutively, he's got it all wrong in everything he tried to do. Whether it be his pre-game tactics, whether it be his in-game tactics, his substitutions, it's just wrong, 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 wrong. Just so wrong, in my opinion. Like I say, I've given him a lot of praise, and I understand that managers sometimes get it wrong. That's fine. It's fine to get it wrong. I'm not saying, because I've seen every manager get it wrong from time to time. I've seen the greats. Sorry. I've seen the greats get it wrong from time to time. So Alex Ferguson got 1 or 2 games wrong, maybe even more, in his career. Even when he was at the peak of his powers, he still managed to sometimes overthink things and maybe choose the wrong player or the wrong setup or whatever it may be. I've seen Sir Alex Ferguson get games wrong. I've seen Jose Mourinho at the peak of his powers overthink things and get things wrong. I've seen Pep Guardiola, especially in big games, get things wrong. That happens, but they're so minor and sporadic that it's like, I flopped, but I'll be back and I'll come back. This guy's got 3 games in a row under his belt in which he has been wrong with everything he's tried to do. And I genuinely, I'm not at the point of slot out yet, but it's starting to really grind and irritate on me. Because why are you leaving Florian Wirtz out when you've gone Isak up front? Isak and Wirtz is the combination to go with. Not maybe necessarily Wirtz and Ekitike, but Wirtz and Isak. What's the point of having Salah and Isak on the pitch if you've got no one to progress the ball to them? Look at what happened about 45 seconds into the second half. Isak, lovely ball through to Cody Gakpo. Gakpo back to Wirtz. A lovely little spin and pass from Florian Wirtz, and Salah has a chance on goal. Why didn't you start with Wirtz? Why? What does Jeremy Frimpong have to do to get a game at right back? What does he have to do to get a game in his natural position? Why do you have to play Dominic Szoboszlai at right back over him every single time? When it's clear that McAllister's not properly match fit. I thought it was one of his better games yesterday from McAllister, but he still wasn't match fit. He still clearly wasn't completely at the races. And why do you continuously persist with Ibrahima Konate when Joe Gomez is finally fit and on the bench ready to go? Why do you insist on Konate? Now, it seemed that Konate went off with an injury yesterday, and that's why he took Ryan Gravenberch back there. But again, Gomez is there. Gomez and Van Dijk was a very good partnership once upon a time. There is no doubt in my mind that that can be resurrected again. But why do you insist on Konate? Why can't Frimpong get a game in his natural position? Why is McAllister seemingly being ran into the ground? Why is Wirtz not starting with Isak? But when Ekitike comes on, it's like, we'll continuously persist with that. It doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense. And then the crown jewel the crown jewel of these mistakes. No Federico Chiesa for a start, left on the bench. Why? Cody Gakpo got us the equalising goal, but outside of that goal, that kind of masqueraded a shockingly bad performance. He was stinking the place up. He was stinking up that left-hand side. Why are you not putting in Chiesa? And especially, why are you not putting in Chiesa when the Chelsea defence is down to its bare bones? They're literally playing fullbacks in the centre-back position. And at 1-1, when you think, right, we can smell blood here. They've got a poor goalkeeper in goal. Their defence is down to their bare bones. Let's go for the kill here. Oh, we can't, because what we decided to do is we decided to put Wataru Endo. No fault of Endo, by the way. He's just the wrong player at the wrong place at the wrong time. Wataru Endo in the midfield. A guy who is known as a destroyer and not really a guy who can progress the ball going forward. Why? Why? Seriously, why? What was that substitution about? What kind of galaxy brain overthinking was Arne Slot doing in that moment to go, could go with Chiesa, could go with Chiesa. You know, he's actually played pretty well this season when we have called upon him. You know, the Carabao Cup he was great in. He obviously got us the equalising goal at Crystal Palace. He got us the winner against Bournemouth. I could go with him. But I want to go with Endo instead. What overthinking was Arne Slot thinking of there? Seriously. Like, again, the players have to take some level of responsibility for their own decision-making, their own actions at a point. But the vast majority of this falls on the head coach. It falls on Arne Slot, who has been overthinking it for the past 3 games. He's been overcomplicating it. He's been tweaking with it that he doesn't need to tweak with things. He's been fiddling with the tactics here and there and trying to change things, and it's like, you don't need to. Just use the Atletico Madrid blueprint. It wasn't perfect Atletico Madrid, but it was a damn right lot better than what we are seeing right now in these past 3 games. Just go back to Atletico. Go back to Frimpong on the right. Go back to, obviously, Wirtz and Isak playing alongside each other. Until he gets his fitness back, just drop McAllister and go with Curtis Jones for now. And by God, Cody Gakpo, if you must drop him, roll the dice a little bit and gamble on Rio Ngamoa. Or go with Federico Chiesa. Things have to change. And here's the worrying thing for me as well, because I'm starting to slowly lose faith in this setup. Like, it's not like we should completely throw everything out and, like, you know, go all, like, damage control and everything. But I'm starting to slowly lose faith, and the worrying thing for me is that rather than see improvements in the past few weeks, since we've come back from the international break, with the exception of Atletico Madrid, I've seen us decline. I've seen the performances somehow get worse and worse. And the results aren't there to back it up anymore. Because we've been saying all season long that the performances haven't been great, but we've been getting results. And the hope is that eventually the performances will click. The new players will click into place and the performances will rise. And if we can get results whilst being bad, like, imagine what the results will be like when we're playing good. But I've not seen it in recent weeks. I've not seen that improvement. And the scary thing is, now we go into the international break. And by the way, I have never wanted an international break more than what we are going to be getting over these next couple of weeks. I have never, ever, ever, ever wanted an international break more than what we are going to be now getting with these next 2 weeks. But the worrying thing is that when we come back, we've got Manchester United next. We have Manchester United next. Granted, it's at Anfield. Granted, it's at home. So we should be winning. But am I going into that game with confidence? If you were to ask me a couple of weeks ago, yeah, I would be. Now, though, I'm having doubts. I'm having second thoughts. I'm a little bit concerned. And look, I'll still keep the faith for now, but that United game, if the United game is bad, I don't know, man. I don't know. But, yeah, Slot massively overthought it. Massively overthought these 3 games. I just think he's overcomplicating it more than what it actually is. Than what the actual situation is regarding. So, yeah, fair play to Chelsea, like I say. Properly deserved it. Properly deserved the win. But again, I'm not saying this to sound bitter or anything, but Chelsea weren't amazing. I know that injuries somewhat play a part in it, but they were there for the taking, Chelsea. Like, they weren't outstanding or amazing by any stretch of the imagination. They were just very good on the day because, let's face it, the Chelsea fans that we're seeing now coming out of the gutter right now are the ones that for the past few weeks have been somewhat missing because of how their team has performed and the kind of results they've been getting. But at the same time, like, they were very good on the day, but we were just poor. We were just so poor. And part of that goes hand in hand because Chelsea were so good, we were poor. But we should have been smelling blood. We should have really been smelling blood and we should have gone for the kill. But we didn't. Arne Slot overthought it. The players didn't execute certain things in certain areas correctly. Mistakes all over the pitch. And we come away from this week with no points in 3 games in 2 different competitions. So, fantastic. Like I say, I've never wanted an international break more than what we are going to be going through right now. I get 2 weeks away from seeing this crap. Hopefully we bounce back against Manchester United, but like I say, I'm not sure anymore. I'm really doubting things now. Really doubting things and having concerns and second thoughts. But those are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys are thinking and feeling. Let me know what you guys thought about Liverpool's defeat to Chelsea yesterday, the performance, the result, and everything else in between down below. Use and abuse that section, people. Would love to know what you guys have to say on all of that. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way up if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you are new. Both things will always and probably be greatly appreciated. As always, I've been Fletch. This has been another not so instant match reaction. And I will see and speak to you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your night. I'll speak to you all again very soon.